Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Last week's video was pretty heavy. If you haven't done so, please go and watch it as it's a conversation that needs to be had. It's linked below in the description and up top in the title cards. This week I needed something a little lighter, so today we're going to discuss the movie Frozen. Yes, this was a fun kids movie, but buried beneath all of the talking snowmen and cute musical numbers, there's actually a really great story about a journey of self-discovery and our characters not only learning who they are, but learning to accept themselves. Let's talk about Elsa first. Elsa was raised to believe that her powers were inherently bad. She was taught from childhood to fear her powers and was forced to keep them under control, because if she didn't, her powers would hurt the one she loved.
See? Conceal it.
Don't feel it.
Don't let it show.
Became her life's motto, and in trying to hide a part of herself, she shut out the one she loved most in her life. Just imagine how different this story would be if Elsa was taught to control her powers instead of being told to fear them. Her parents put the safety of their daughters first, but they blindly neglected to deal with the source of the potential danger. Instead, they locked it away and kept it hidden. They were told that Elsa's powers would grow, but they ignored it in an effort to shield the world from her. And it was that lack of nurture that shaped Elsa's command of her powers. Every time her powers manifested, she was told that it was bad, and even the good times were immediately overshadowed by a single unfortunate incident. Her parents understandably did the best they could, but in hindsight, they probably did more harm than good. The bad things only happened when Elsa was either mad, scared, or stressed. Mostly the latter two. Almost everything she does throughout the movie is out of fear that she might hurt someone, which ends up being a self-fulfilling prophecy. She only ever imagined the consequences of using her powers, which scared her and caused her stress. Since the night of Anna's accident, she stopped seeing her powers in any kind of positive light. It took Elsa getting away from everything, her castle, her people, and her life, for her perspective to change. And that only came about because she slipped up and was forced out. But in the isolation is where she figured out who she truly was and what she really could do. It was in the absence of constant fear and repression that she finally understood that her powers belonged to her. They were her responsibility, but not necessarily her burden. And only once she accepted that was she able to see the beauty in her gift. I think there's something to be said about distancing oneself from all of society's perceived rules and expectations and coming to terms with who you really are and who you want to be. Anna, on the other hand, was always defined by her sister. As a child, all of her joy came from playing with Elsa, but when that connection was severed, she also lost her identity as well. Making matters worse were the fact that she didn't have a choice. Her memories were taken from her, and she was just left with an empty chasm she couldn't explain. Only memories of a person who suddenly wasn't interested in her anymore.
We used to be best buddies, and now we're not. I wish you would tell me why.
That chasm, coupled with the loss of her parents, left her yearning for a connection. And so she fell for the first person who seemed to have it all and gave her that connection. But underneath all of the fine clothes, good hair, exquisite manners, and courtly stature was someone completely manipulative and wrong, and he almost succeeds in taking everything from her. But had she known better, she would have been able to see right through all of the pomp and circumstance to his true nature, character, and intentions. But how could she? She hadn't had a real connection with her family, she was shut out from the world in her castle, and spent the previous 3 years completely alone, except for minimal contact with the staff. She was starving for a connection and overlooked all of the flaws in the first one she got. Luckily, however, what saved her in the end was the connection she had been craving for the most. It wasn't Prince Charming or any other man for that matter. What saved her was the one thing she was really chasing after: the love of her family. And that was also the final missing piece for Elsa to fully control her powers as well. It was the unconditional love that both had never fully received up until that point. Anna's power was always being open to others and always seeing the best in them. That's what got her into the mess with Hans in the first place. But it's also the reason Anna was able to save Elsa, because she only saw the best in people. Earlier in the movie, when Elsa fled into the wilderness, all of the Arendelle had cast her out and she had resigned to isolating herself from the world. But Anna was the one person who refused to write her off. She not only followed her into a dangerous wilderness, but convinced her that she was worth loving. And she did it all without even a moment of hesitation. Ultimately, it was Anna's love that got Elsa to understand that she was the one in control of her powers and not the other way around. Because Anna only ever saw the best in her sister and continuously refused to give up on her. And it's that kind of love that not only saved Elsa, but all of Arendelle. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to give this video a like, and if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more video analysis and perspectives like this one. If you've got something you'd like to add or any other kind of response, the comment section is always open for discussion. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a great day and be sure to watch a great movie. Bye.
The cold never bothered me anyway.